All right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys. We do conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This is all about the Never Ever Mets. So if this is content that you enjoy, you know what to do by now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, request notifications.
And share.
Meet us in the comments, and that's it. Just meet us. Hang out.
Hang out.
Watch. In fact, go back and watch it again. All right.
And since Ready to Love is just in repeats, just go ahead and repeat everything we talked about and all the.
And it ain't coming back to August 1st, I think it said.
That's annoying.
In other news, I read somewhere Oprah stepping in for the Never Ever Mets. No, for the Never Ever Mets. Oh. She's stepping in. She has mandated that it is now called Never Ever Met the Truth.
Stupid. You're so stupid. I thought you You're lying.
Because y'all lie.
Oh my God.
Why you always lying?
I'm so done with y'all.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Let's just pick one.
Okay.
Pick one.
We'll pick the low-hanging fruit as far as so far nothing major.
Please, yes.
Right?
And then we can just ramp up from there.
So, Jay and Sinko.
Yes.
Seem to be okay.
They seem to be okay. It's too much other stuff going on that we can't even get to.
Any of their issues, or if they have issues, right?
Or just common relationship problems, right?
Yeah.
Like, how well are they doing now that they get to meet each other? Mm-hmm. I know, they've already discovered bodies. And they seem to be getting along. The little takes of them that's combined with everyone else, they're into each other. They seem like this is going to work out. But that's all we've gotten to see with them.
Yeah.
Kudos to them.
They seem to be in a good space.
It seemed like it, as far as we can tell. Hopefully, unless they're going to save them to the end.
Right. All of a sudden,
another,
Jay come with that West Side Maywood. Shout out to you, girl. But yeah, so so far they seem to be good.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do with Ty and Britt.
Okay.
Ty and Britt. Nothing major from them. They did win the Kama Sutra exercise.
Yes. And so they seem to be so far on a good path, right?
But we are starting to see some things.
Oh, the honeymoon's over quick.
Yes.
Okay.
Because he just played too much.
Oh, yeah. They were talking about that during the massage.
Right.
Like he's always joking. And typically what has been said in the past is that people who joke so much, they're I don't want to say hiding anything.
Masking.
They're masking. Yes, thank you. Because there's a lot of other people hiding stuff. But masking.
If he come out with 20 kids and 4 baby mamas.
So they're masking some insecurities. And so joking is a way to get people, to like them and be the people pleaser and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now that she's noticing that, because in the present, hopefully she can bring that out to him in a way that can open him up to find out.
Right.
Because they have an opportunity to meet with the therapist. Everyone should be taking that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I think for him, I don't know that it's an issue unless I'm saying unless he continue, even after she mentions it, it continues to become an issue. Because it could be, in all honesty, it could be right now just a mechanism of nervousness, a mechanism of ingratiating himself.
Okay.
I can give
camera.
Right.
Okay.
So I can give him that pass right now.
Okay.
Unless it becomes more, then right. So
I hear you. I hear what she's saying. I hear what.
I definitely hear, because again, they're still getting each other figured out.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
So now, if this is how he is all the time, except when they're FaceTiming, then yeah, that's a problem. So. All right. Goodness. Well, let's just jump into. Okay, this is a little safer one. Chris and Alexis.
Okay, so they seem to at least be communicating.
Yes.
And everyone apologized. Chris and Alexis apologized. And so I appreciate that, because in every relationship, we take the time to really listen to one another,
right?
Come back together, figure it out. So let me give kudos where kudos is due.
Yep.
They decided to work it out. They decided to apologize. And I like his follow-up question. What are you apologizing for?
Yes. Because in all honesty, when I was watching it, I was almost taking it as a gaslighting. Mm-hmm. In other words, I'm sorry, but I really don't feel that way. Because if I'm honest, that's how she can come off. That seems to be outside looking in how she could come off, where it's like, I'm gonna just say this, don't really mean it.
But I liked how he followed up. Yes. I was like, oh, that's typically when that comes, we don't do a follow up when we feel like in our minds, oh, we got the apology. Right. And so we want to move on. Mm-hmm. So I appreciated Chris for doing the follow-up. Right. So what are you apologizing for? I want to receive the apology, but I want to make sure that it is genuine and you can communicate to me what I've been trying to tell you that I don't like.
Right.
Not what you think I want you to apologize for, but what you are hearing me clearly saying. Mm-hmm. So great job to him to be able to ask that additional question.
Yes.
And I think that's a great example to us.
Yeah. So other than that, they seem to be in a space. I don't want to say a good space. They're in a space.
I think they're moving forward.
I'll give you that. Because one thing that he was a little nervous about was during the Kama Sutra exercise, he made a comment of, oh boy, I forget who it was. I think it was Clay and Tatiana, who were like going there. He's like, oh, that means Alexis gonna go out there. But she seemed, although she almost broke her back and his back, and not in a good way.
So
not in a good way.
At the beginning of that, it looks like again she took heed to what he was saying. Mm-hmm. So she slowed down, right? Mm-hmm. So again, she's listening to him and then she's applying it. Right. So again, where kudos and flowers are due, she deserves to get it, okay? Yep. Now, you got to realize what you're holding. And trying to jump back, he only got one back. He about to break that boy back.
Again. Breaking backs is cool.
She talking about she realizing how old she is. She had to think about how old he is.
He's
a decent, but you don't want to if you ain't practicing that.
And if he ain't ready for that, and if he ain't trying,
right, you ain't communicate that, because she was about to get dropped. If that was me, somebody gonna have to let go. And if you weren't gonna let go,
oh, you okay down there?
I was gonna have to let go. It's saying she recover. You ain't messing me up.
Medic.
I'm just saying.
Because she falling and she can't get up. All right. So that's them pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go into the group. Or how do you want to talk about Kiki? And then that'll follow into everything else.
Okay. We can do that. All right. So Kiki and Brandon. So it starts off pretty much the episode like the night, I guess, of the previous episode, right? And Kiki is having some beverages, and then we see her falling over a table. I mean, a chair.
Well, I think it was like an ottoman, so it didn't have no back in it.
Gotcha.
And so all of a sudden, she
falling all backwards. Brandon is kind of like, hey, you want to slow down a little?
Because don't be asking me if you intoxicated to try to move you around. It ain't going to be happening. Ain't going to have another broke back.
And Alexis is basically like, yeah, she's a bottle girl. She's a party girl. This seems to be kind of how she operates. So there you go. Everybody goes to bed.
Yeah. At first, it seemed like she's sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, at first, but then we find her in the bed until 2:00 in the afternoon.
Sucking her thumb.
Yes.
It's not good for your teeth. Let me just say that. When you suck your thumb up to an adult age, it's not good for your teeth.
Yep. So, Brandon's like, he's like, these are signs to him of alcoholic abuse, right? So he's talking to Chris and Alexis, kind of laying out his concerns, what have you. And then he's like, okay, this is the maturity part. He goes and he's like, I need to talk to Kiki. So he goes to talk to Kiki and it's like, hey, I know you're just waking up and getting the crust out your ass and everything. Can we go on the balcony and talk? So they go and talk. And he's like, you were out of control. She makes the statements along the lines of she's not an angry drinker, she's a fun drinker. Cool, because if it was an angry drinker, that'd be another problem itself. But the fact you're a fun drinker, I hear what you're saying. But she makes a statement that to me is very telling. She says she uses it to fit in.
Oh, yes. And for people to like her.
Right.
I did write that down. To me, that's concerning. If you feel like you have to become somebody else to like you.
Right.
But that it's rooted in insecurity.
Yes.
So, yes, I would say that. I don't know if he heard that, but that would be a red flag. That's
a caution for me because it to me it's something that if we're not therapists, we're not
claiming to be.
This is amateur psychotherapy, right?
Right.
That's something that I would, or even as we've done as far as pastoral counseling, this would be something I dig a little more into and say, okay, talk to me about that. Right. What does that mean when you say you're using it to fit in? Why do you feel that you can't fit in without it?
Right. And it could be meaning at home, like for her friends to be able to hang out with them, meaning she has to drink. And also she mentioned she had lost her mom.
Right.
And she went into drinking more when her mom had passed away, but she didn't want to use it as a coping mechanism. But I think those things you have to be concerned about.
And but for me, when you correlate it subconsciously, you are using it in that manner.
Oh, yeah.
You're saying you don't want to, but subconsciously,
yes,
that's what you're doing.
I agree with that.
Right.
Right. So, yeah.
So it's their turn to cook.
Right.
Right.
And didn't she say I'm not going to be drinking for the rest of the day?
She did say she was, because she tried.
She was going to sober up from last night. So,
yes.
Yeah, and drinking water.
Right.
Yes.
So, but then she couldn't help because she felt exhausted and overheated. And he was like, "Is this because?" No, it's not because of the alcohol. Okay.
Right.
So he goes downstairs. He's cooking.
Yeah, he starts to cook.
He's got some help. Yes. Because some of the other people are like, look, we want to eat, so
right. And if she's not feeling well,
we'll pick up the slack. Then he's boiling the pasta. He looks up, or one of them looks up and is like, there she go right there. No, she upstairs. She not feeling well. No. That's it. So you go from not feeling well, and she goes out, and I forget who she's talking to.
She's talking to.
Was it Charli?
No.
Tatiana.
No. She's talking to
Brittany.
Yes.
We ran through them all.
Chico, I want to call him
Sinko.
Sinko girl.
That's Jay.
Okay. She's talking to Jay.
Okay.
I remember that. So he's talking to Jay, and she's like, I don't know if I should go in there and help because now I feel awkward kind of deal. My thing is this, at least try to approach. Say, hey, I couldn't sleep anymore. I'm feeling okay. I want to try to help. How can I just lean into it? Like I'm gonna try.
Right. At least make the effort.
I'm at least make the effort. But when someone points out that you outside and you're walking around and you seem to be okay because there hasn't been any other communication. But what I want to point out is Brandon is saying that he's upset that she's not in there because this is supposed to be her favorite meal. And he wanted to do it together with her, you know,
about that.
You know. So I was kind of thinking about, you know, here again, just like the therapist was talking to the other couple about having such expectations and then them not going the way you want it to go.
Yes.
And so when she comes into the kitchen, you know, the first thing he says is something very derogatory.
True.
Okay. Again, he might have needed to stop what he was doing and say, hey guys, can you watch the play, my pots? And let me try to have another conversation with her about how I'm feeling. But he kind of like, you doing this. And she like, I'm not, I'm out. So she leaves again. So
long story short, she ain't help at all, right?
No.
Because again, the other portion of this, the other meaning behind it is it's an opportunity for them to bond.
Correct.
Right?
Get to know each other.
In a different setting with a task.
How they can work together.
Because he asked, "Are you dependable?" Because
that's the first thing. But this is the other 4-year relationship.
Yes.
So, y'all don't know each other. You're not spending enough time together. Because if you can talk on the phone for 4 years, which to me, talking has to be more intimate than any other encounter you have, how in 4 years, then the first thing that come out of your mind or out of your mouth is that she's not dependable?
Well, it's one thing to be dependable when I FaceTime you pick up. It's another thing to be in the vicinity and we're supposed to do something together and you don't follow through, and you'd rather go out and hang out, and because again, from his perspective,
right,
he's working,
right,
he's getting something done,
right,
and she's just out there all because what he sees from her,
right,
is drink, sleep, go hang out, and he's like, we supposed to be cooking,
right. So
I can understand his comment or his question of, are you dependable? Because right now you're not giving that impression.
Well, my thing is, I guess no way you spin it, she didn't do her part
at all.
She didn't do her part.
So for dinner, everybody's going around, what have you. The question was, they do this from time to time, but the question was, who was it? Jared, who we'll get to Jared in a little bit. But Jared says, okay, everybody take a piece of paper, write it down. If this ended today, would you be with your person? Yeah,
I think one of the producers.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
Tell them they're going to do it.
I don't think that Jared could come up with that on his own. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. And yes, that's a producer question. And so it was supposed to be secretive. We find out that she said
she saw Brandon.
She saw Brandon, but she wrote maybe. She wrote question mark.
Yeah, question mark.
Or whatever. Undecided, right? She says she saw him write no. He did tell at some point that he did write no.
He told to the guys when they went out.
Because he's like, this ain't what I signed up for.
And granted, if it says today, so if it's based on my feelings for today.
Because it could change tomorrow.
Right.
Right? But in the moment, it's a no from him. So she's upset with him, right? And she go off and talk?
Oh, he went off.
He went off.
Because, so they're,
That's right. He was like, I'm tired. I've been cooking.
For everybody.
I've been wash dishes. Because she didn't even help wash dishes.
Right.
That's the other thing.
So, again, here's an opportunity to go to him. Because his grievances is that you're up now. So obviously you're fine. And you ate dinner. So it's not like you went back to bed after.
You're not feeling well, right?
Right. So again, given another opportunity to smooth it over, saying, look, don't worry about dishes. I'll take care of the dishes. Or say, let's do it together. Apologize for your part. Not all of it, but for what your part is, the miscommunication, not being there, missing out on the opportunity to be with him to do it.
Right.
There is some things that you can take accountability for.
Absolutely.
So that you can see how you can move forward.
Yeah. So he walks off. He's like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
That's what he said. He said, I'm going to work out and go to bed. I was like, tired. You're going to go work out. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. He's like, I'm at least tomorrow because they don't have anything else. No, they have no phones. They have no TV.
Right. So you're trying to figure out how to get out of your aggression. So
right.
I hear you.
So she goes back into the dining room, I guess it is, and
talking to.
There's a few of them that are in there, right?
Yeah, they're talking about their situation. Like,
right,
we see what's going on with them.
Oh, hey, we were just talking about you.
At least they were honest. Like, look,
right.
I don't know what you heard, so let's go ahead and get it out.
At least it wasn't a shh. Right. Here she come.
Right.
Right. So we're talking about you, and they're starting to help. And then I guess Brandon finished his workout.
I guess
maybe that's what happened.
15 minutes.
Because he comes and sits down, but he sits like at the other end of the table. He was like, "I'm gonna sit down here. You stay down there." And he begins to air some of his grievances.
Well, the men first says this. They got his back.
Yes.
The men says, "I know why he's angry, because if that was my chick, this is the reason why I would be angry too."
Yep.
And so then she says something, and then that's when he turned.
Right. And he even is like, "And you sitting there drinking alcohol now?" She's like, "It's wine."
Baby girl, if it's fermented, that's why they call grape juice. It changes from grape juice to wine.
Because it's still alcohol.
Because it has alcohol. And he's like, "It's alcohol." He said, "What? It's the alcohol. You are drinking alcohol right now." And then I think it's Ty. He's like, he cares about you.
Right.
If he did not care,
he'd have been like,
he wouldn't worry about it. He would let you do whatever you want to do.
Because remember, last season, there was a couple that went through something. And the guy was like, "I'm good. I'm done. We can go. I'm good." So if Brandon did not care, I don't believe that this would be an issue. Right. I think it is an issue because he cares, because he sees things that if I've been, I put it in our perspective. If I see something that you are doing something that could be, not saying it definitely is, but could be harmful, then I'm going to say, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm going to ask him a question about it, right?
Yeah, but you have to be honest. Like, I've pointed things out to you, and then you're like, "Oh, it took me a while to realize that you really are trying to help me." Right? Because if in your past you feel like things that have been pointed out negatively is something, again, if I have an insecurity, it's against me. True. So you're against me. You're not for me. You're not da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
So if she's in that state of mind, she can't even hear what he's trying to say.
True. So, but for both of them, it's right now they're still there's potential there, but they're going to have to figure out the communication. They're going to have to figure out, and she's going to have to at least acknowledge why he may feel the way he feels. Right.
And again, great opportunity. There's a therapist there.
Yep.
Utilize it.
Yeah. So speaking of therapists, Alicia, who I think when I looked, because I was kind of seeing what I could find out about some of them, I think she's in the space, not a therapist. She's kind of like a life coach type thing, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she talks about how she gotten through her illness and how she's lost weight and stuff. So that would make sense.
So picking up with their story, she came into the kitchen and says she wants to talk in their room. She does say, getting back to kind of their thing from last episode as far as she didn't feel safe, she says this energy and countenance changes, right? Which
I could say, yes, I can agree to that.
But and
it could be a part of him. He's Haitian. It's a part of his culture too. You got to take. I'm not giving an excuse for that, but they're Haitian. They tend to come off in a sense of passion.
I get that.
Okay.
Now, and I was going to give her some credit in this respect. The fact that they are for the most part getting to know each other. If what you've seen before is someone who gets angry and it turns into something more. Then yes, you may think that that's what it is with him. I don't get that from him.
No.
I think he's very much. I hate to use the word passionate because we overuse that word, but I think he is going to acknowledge when things are irritating him, bothering him. But I don't see it coming to a punch a door, get angry, get violent, anything of that nature.
So he communicates to her about not using the word unsafe.
Yes.
And he says any mature man who hears from a woman unsafe, it's time for him to leave.
Yep.
And so with him and with that statement, that would makes me to see that he knows how to control his self.
Yes.
And so that would put me in a space that this man is not a man that just going to just get angry,
throw chairs and all that.
Do like you were indicating just a few minutes ago.
Right.
Because we talked about that in the last episode that we reviewed. Yeah. So, yes.
So, for the Kama Sutra, she's excited that there's a couples massage on the table. But then she's like, I ain't ready for all that.
Yeah. So, she tries. She makes an effort. Because she could have said no.
Yes.
She could have just said,
I'll give you that.
I opt out. I'm not doing it.
Yes.
Okay, so she makes an effort, right? But again, she's telling him, bro, you got to back it up.
You're like, listen, I'm already in the next county.
So at this point, I don't think he understands how far removed her intimacy is when it comes to body language, touch and things like that. So if touch is his life language, love language, they're not going to make it.
They're not communicating.
She's not at a point where she's ready for that.
No.
And he may need to consider if that's the case, right? If he needs that physical touch from her, and that's his love language, she might not be a good fit for him because she still has some things that she needs to continually work on. Because if it's a sign of rejection for him, it's not going to work.
Nope.
It's not going to work.
So they do meet with a therapist.
Which I thought was like, great. We really want to work on this. We really see the potential.
Yeah. I think that there are some things that she says and does that are, I hate to use the term gaslighting because we use that term a lot, right? But it is almost pointing the blame back rather than acknowledging her issues. So,
and that's typical relationship. I think with everything she endured, I think she would benefit more of not dating right now till she could get to a place where she's recovering mentally, right? Because like he says, she talks a lot about energy and body and feeling and everything. But again, she's not demonstrating in the sense of her own awareness. Self-awareness.
It's too early for her to be on this show.
Yeah.
It's too early for her to be here in a relationship. Yeah. Whatever, all the things that she's been through, trauma, all of those things. Yeah. It's too early. She needs another. She needs to. I know Dr. Ayanla is not doing it, but she needs to book a session with her. She might need to Dr. Phil.
No. She don't need Dr. Phil. I don't know whatever happened to Dr. Phil, whatever bit him, but she don't need Dr. Phil.
I can tell you what bit him.
I mean, going on a show. Fiance, the
Family of Fiance.
Yeah, the therapist from there, trauma therapist from there.
Yes,
she can go anywhere else.
Not Dr. Phil.
No, we don't.
Got
do
you.
that.
All right.
I know you were just using it as an example.
Yes.
But since you mentioned that
because
name,
we ain't got no love for Dr. Phil over here.
No, at the beginning we did. Just to be honest, at the beginning I did.
You did.
But then I was like, oh really? Okay, that's what we doing. That's what we doing.
Nah. All right. So that's a whole other issue, y'all. And if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
All right. So that was pretty much it for them. I don't see a future for them at present unless there's massive changes in their dynamics.
And guess what? And that would be more on his side. He would have to have the patience.
He would. It would be more him being honest and saying I can endure this. I see the prize as worth all of this, or being like, you know what, we live in completely different areas. I'll just turn the dating app on and choose a different city.
Wasn't he the one that had the app on and ended up with someone?
I can't remember if it was him or who. I can't remember.
Or if that was Who was that? Sinko. Was it Sinko or was it him? Someone turned on the app and ended up.
Yeah, I can't remember it.
I can't remember who it was. Put it in the comments if you remember. Someone said they found someone on the dating app, but they're in a different city. And we were talking about that.
Yes. All right. So that brings us to, talked about them. Is it just Jared and Charli? Oh, no, we still got Tati and Clay. So let's deal with Jared and Charli.
You sure? Let's do Ty and Clay.
You want Tati and Clay?
Yeah.
Okay. So they won the first exercise as far as the Kama Sutra, and they was winning. They was putting other folks to shame for a moment, right?
Someone ain't doing nothing.
But he was a little handsy during the exercise.
Yes, because she mentioned this. She was like, he getting extra, and he playing up to the crowd.
Yes,
and I think she should have mentioned it.
Yes,
I think I would have been like, well, nah, bro, put your hands back up high. Because everybody was feeling like, y'all need to be in the boom boom room now.
They was like, y'all nasty. So later on, he's sitting in the pool talking with Jared.
Yes.
And he's talking to Jared about having a daughter. And he's like, basically kind of what we thought.
Okay, but I need to listen to the story again. It was something about his ex-girlfriend was leaving.
And then she came back and she came back pregnant.
And she came back. And he didn't know.
Right, if it's his child or not, right? So long story short, kind of what we figured, which was this probably happened, it's not as if he had the baby while they were, or he impregnated the other person while he and Tatiana were talking. It sounds as if
right before
he started talking with Tatiana. Cool. Get it. I don't think that it's a deal breaker unless he does what he does, which is she's walking through and she sees them talking. She kind of overhears because sound does carry. That is a real thing. That is physics, right? And they're outside. So sound does carry. And so she's like, hey. He's like, hey. She's like, what you talking about? Huh? I overheard you. We was talking about how the bees, and basically she's like,
you going in circles.
Right. So then he just kind of like, I think I love, he does say to the producers, I froze, but he's like, yeah, I love you.
I think I love you. I'm in love with you. She was like, okay. When you smell BS, just call it out. Like, I don't believe you. What's going on? And then if you can't tell me now, give a time frame. By the end of the evening, let's talk.
Yes.
Because I don't want to go another day and there's something you are hiding. Because there's too many other people who already hide stuff and have brought it up to the table. So I want to know what's going on. Because I don't believe you.
Yeah. So again, we're watching from the outside looking in, but it would be if I were in the house, my advice would be like, bruh, just rip the Band-Aid off. Let her know.
Get over it.
The worst that can happen is she's done with you.
Right.
But the best thing that could happen is she's like, okay, it preceded me. Because she also has a child already, right? A 12-year-old, I think. So it's not like she's coming into it with no children and expecting you to come into it with no children. Only because you've not told her that you have a child that was just born.
So, okay, if, again, we don't know all the details.
Right.
But if the ex-girlfriend at any time, right, because he knows it's born, and if that's the person that you're interested in, like, why won't you share what your experience is going through it?
Right.
Like, oh my God, you're the first one I'm calling. I just found out I might have a daughter. I don't know what to do. This is scary. I just met you. I'm really wanting this to work out. Yep. Now I'm finding out from my ex that potentially I might be a father. So have her help you through the situation.
Yep.
And again, which makes it better than deciding to go this route. I don't understand. I do understand. We don't know how to work through conflict resolutions.
Yes.
We don't know how to make wise choices and allow people who want to be in your life to be in your life.
Yeah.
Because when you don't treat them right and you lie, they can be out of your life.
Treat them like they want to be treated.
I mean,
you should treat them right.
That just drives me crazy.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it for them.
Okay, now
on to Jared and Charli.
Yes.
So, initially in the early part of the episode, there's no pressure. Everybody knows the secret. We're good. We got to think about what the next steps are, what that looks like. Charli says she got a 6-bedroom house.
I don't know what does Charli do? Do we know what she do?
I don't know what she do. So, she lives in Dallas, and Dallas does, in some areas, have some big houses.
They do. So, hey.
And admit, compared to where we are in Phoenix, the price of a large home is pretty reasonable.
From looking out, depending on how far,
depending upon where in Dallas, in the DFW area you're talking, right?
Because it's pretty big,
right? But then also 6 bedrooms. How big are those bedrooms? Okay, so all right, so she has.
Well, she got room.
We don't know enough to say she lying, but okay,
yeah. Just take a word for it.
We got to take a word for it. Although we couldn't take her word for it about them kids.
We didn't know until she told.
Well, that's proven that we can't take her word.
That's true. You set yourself
up.
So he said he seems interested.
Yes.
I don't know what he does, but he said something about working with a university.
I forget.
So I don't know what he does, but he was like, okay, which there should be several again. So he seemed like he's on the up and up, saying, because he's in Ohio. He said Columbus. So he's in the East Coast. That's what he said. He said something.
No, he's in South Carolina.
So
he's in South Carolina. She's in Dallas.
Oh, okay. So Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay. So making those arrangements, and then they walk off to go to breakfast or whatever. I forgot what time of day it was, and that was kind of pretty much it. So
things seem to be okay. The big drama with them seems to be okay. Cool. They do okay at the Kama Sutra thing.
Yeah. So again, there's that sexual tension between the two of them.
And bear in mind, she just had a baby a month ago. So you ain't gonna be jumping in there too quickly. At least, you shouldn't be. Most doctors will tell you hold off this amount of time frame.
It's been a month, so probably by the time she got to the show, it's been at least 6 weeks. But she's still pumping, so you may want to stay away from those.
So
she pumping, so you may want to stay clear. I'm sorry.
All right. So anyway, moving along. Just saying.
I get it.
Listen,
stay clear.
You make sure you get the right cream for your coffee. Okay. So, the evening when they do the whole, if it ended today, what would happen? Mm-hmm. So we didn't hear anything, right, until he gets outside and talks with some of the other fellas, and then Brandon comes and they start sharing, and he's like, he didn't write no on his page, he wrote F no. Yes. And they were like, whoa. Hold on. So all the guys are surprised. Right. And he's like, why? He's like, all them kids. Dude. So, initially I get, right? He just had he has a kid. He has two. He's at 2. She's at 4. But he thought she's at 1. And he gets surprised. But from his perspective, he knew he had 1 and then just had another one. So he knows he's at 2. Right. He knows, as far as him coming into this situation, knows that she's at 1. Gets surprised with 2, 3, and 4. Right? So all of a sudden he went from, we might be able to make 3 kids work to we got 6 kids between us. So he's like, I ain't doing that. That's not what's happening. He's like, but since I'm here, we're going to crack, which is his words of saying they're going to knock boots. They're going to hit the skins. They're going to do all the fun stuff, right? So first of all, I'm going to just say this.
Okay, I'll let you go first.
That's a little intense to be like, I'm going to make sure I travel some states just to hit. Right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that he's like, that's what he's planning to get out of this is wild to me. Go ahead.
Anything else? No, I just want to hear a man's perspective. If you were in that group of guys and you just heard what Jared said, what would you say to Jared at that moment?
I would, first of all, I'd be like, look, don't try and get number 7. Cause if you're trying to hit, bruh man, she's fertile. She got 4. So that means at least in the last 12 years, 4 times has worked the charm. Don't let this, and based upon the fact that she went, according to her, she went out the one time because she was, thinking that he was doing his thing. And that one time turned into the child that she just recently had. All it takes is a one time. So, bruh, man, it's okay. I'm sure whoever the baby mama is you got back home, go ahead and go back to her.
You was telling her to go back to?
At least that's local. At least that's somebody you are in a relationship with, or at least had some type of relationship with. Mm-hmm. Don't cross state lines on the thing of I want to get some, and now you find out because the potential is there because she's into him.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was Sinko mentioned, boy, she got her name on your body.
Sign your name across my.
So he's younger than all. I think he's the youngest of them, maybe. I don't know if he's the young. But he has the common sense to say, hold on. She done put her name on you, man. And you're telling me this may not work out? So he had a sense enough to say that, okay?
That's wild.
I would have said, if I was there, I'd be like, dude, don't mess with this chick. If she's already into you and you don't know if you want to help father her other 4 kids and potentially you could get her pregnant, leave her alone. Tell her how you feel. If y'all need to work through that first, but you don't want to put sex in this right now until you figure out where you want to really be. If you want to be back where you are with your new baby,
I'm just saying.
Bruh.
don't do it.
You stupid.
Don't do it. Okay? So they're talking about these no's. They figure out, it's all the dudes that said no. So they figured out it's 4 of them that said, guys that said no. Mm-hmm. That's not happy in this current situation. Yep. Okay? Mm-hmm. So then when they break out to go back in the house, this is where I got pissed.
You want me to lay the scene?
Lay the scene.
So they come back into the kitchen. Charli's like, hey. I put yes. What'd you put? He's like, oh, yeah, I put yeah. I'm excited. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Oh. Bro, man, straight lied.
Lied again. Lied. And she says to him, no, we're off. This is the time I felt that we weren't on the same page.
She's like, I couldn't read you. I couldn't understand you. I couldn't get you.
Read you and understand you.
That's the Holy Spirit talking to you.
You don't even know what that is.
But you may not know what it is.
But, and when he goes, oh, no. Yeah, it's a yes. There's 2 sides of this. On her side, learn from experience. When you're sensing something, you stop everything else. Well, until I can figure out what that was and what I'm feeling, I think we need to have more conversations about if you're going to be good with this, because I'm not going to let this blow over. Because too many times when women sense things, we let it blow over. And when we let it blow over, it ends up blowing up later on. Because when you're not connected and you're feeling it, and then they lying, and then they gaslighting. You want to talk about being gaslighting? She was being blown up. She turned into a full-blown blue flame with all the stuff he was saying out of his mouth. And she was made the decision to like, oh, well, maybe it's not. No, baby girl, you know exactly what you're talking about. And only thing he's worried about, cracking whatever, he's not worried about making love to you. He just want to have sex with you. And then he says to the producer, whatever it takes, I just need to wait a little bit longer and put it on so I can get some. That is so immature and deceitful. You didn't have a hard time getting sex when y'all were apart? So it's like, granted, did she tell the truth? No. But dude, it's not deserving of it now that you both says that you're on the same page. For you later on to be gone? You talking about people getting broken over and over again? That's just so, it's just...
Trifling?
It's slimy. That's slimy.
Yeah. So, needless to say, there's a lot going on with this crew and this cast of Never Ever Mets. So far, there's only one couple that seems to be moving positively towards something, right? And that, I would say that's Jay and Sinko. Tatiana, at this point, Tatiana, I think, is starting to at least have a feeling that something's going on. Mm-hmm. So I can't say that they're moving forward positively because Clay is holding his back.
Right.
I think Ty and Britt might be another one that could potentially be moving forward. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's starting to irritate her, she's got to be honest about it and give them the opportunity to correct that.
Correct.
Other than that,
I'm like, what are we doing? You know, even for Tanya, she's like, okay, I don't know you. I feel like you might not be telling the truth, but I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
You know, and so at the end of the day, do we need to give that to people? Yes. Mm-hmm. But should we be accountable? I want to say this, be accountable for your actions. Mm-hmm. If you just want to have sex, that's what you at. That's where you at. Then just be honest. Say, you know what? I'm not sure how well this is going to work out, but while we're here, I would love to get with you.
I want to get with you. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of music today, y'all.
And if she's still down with that, then you gave her the choice.
I want to be down with what you're going through. Again, I'm sorry.
But outside of that, don't be deceitful to get what you want. And then you don't know if you're going to work out. But you can say that you hit it. Like, who does that? That's something that's stuff I hear when we were in high school. And you're a grown man with kids. But that's where your mind is still. And you can't be mature enough to tell and let another adult know so an adult can make a decision.
These are my confessions. All right, that's it. Listen, all right. I'm going to just keep singing. Because it's just... I just don't get it. Just don't get it. You know, I wish them well. Wish them all well. All right, that's it for this one. Let us know your thoughts. Listen.
If I'm wrong.
All right. Let us know your thoughts. Hit us in the comments. Let us know what we might have missed. But listen, we'll be back next week for the next one. And check out, because we got Somebody's Son, that whole show. We're going to be doing reviews of that too. So Make sure you tapped in for that. Again, we'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.